Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Another club, plane, next place.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
I actually did it myself. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Well,
Hey, mamas.
come.
Well, comma,
Come.
period.
Yaplins. I feel like we haven't called
Oh, try again.
Yaplins. I feel like we haven't called you Yaplins in a while.
We haven't called you. We haven't addressed you. We haven't.
Our episodes are like out of whack. Like the last
Yeah.
episode we recorded isn't going to be what's going up. So apologies right now for...
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. No, and also this is just kind of what we feel like doing. And
so
if
true.
you have an issue with it,
So true.
then you can choose to click away. But
And boy, do we have a doozy
girl,
today.
mama,
So true.
there's so much to go over.
I
today.
received a text that chills people to the bone. Stopped me dead in my tracks. I was playing
Yeah.
my little Stardew Valley stuff. I was like, whoa, right.
Saturday night.
Do you know what the Omegaverse is?
What the fuck are you doing?
And your answer
And you
was
pressed send.
I did. Because I was
My answer was, who told you this?
Who told you?
Who put this word on your tongue? was what my answer was.
Yeah, and you have every right to ask that. I don't even know how it came up in conversation, but we were just talking about it. Mind you, okay, we'll get into it, but that's kind of the
But that
topic
to say, the overall thesis of today is going a little bit into just the idea of fan fiction.
Yep.
So a little bit of a history, some notable tropes, kind like, for lack of a better word, ethics. Like, we're not really talking about like the ethics of it, but just kind of
the
thoughts
ins
and
and
feelings
outs.
on it.
Yeah.
So
How did it come to be? What is it about? Where is it going? Where did it come from? Where
Exactly.
did you go, Cotton Eye Joe?
exactly, precisely.
So
Getting into our bi-weekly debrief.
yeah. What has happened? A lot of things happened.
A lot of things.
A lot of things happened, and also nothing happened. I have been, mind you, this is like the recovery day. I have been just out and about, being a young little lad, partying it up, with my friends. And all that's to say, I've been drinking for the past like 3 days. So today's like, I've just been doing a lot. Okay. Anyway, Friday came and went. Saturday was a birthday party for one of, shout out Laurel. It wasn't her birthday, but it was a friend's party, which this gets to the origin story of the topic of conversation for today, because I was introduced to the Omegaverse at this birthday party, which I don't know how it happened, but it happened.
Interesting party.
It was an interesting party. I had a grand time. Kiana was her name. Shout out Kiana. It was their birthday. But someone asked me, "Do you know about XYZ Omegaverse?" And I was like,
I want to see what you just said.
and
written on
then
paper.
we started talking about it, and then me like already like 4 drinks in, like kind of half zoning out, but also like this is interesting enough for me to keep my attention. But yeah, so
But so why did you text me though? Like,
because I had a feeling we were talking about the podcast too, and then they're like, "Oh, you need to do an episode on it," and then I was like, "Oh, I feel like Bree would like would at least know, if not be like involved herself, would at
What
least
you say fuck me for?
would at least know
in the society.
in the society of Omegaverse, Alpha and Omega and Beta, which there's so many things that I like have
We'll
questions
get
on.
into
Yeah,
it.
we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
So that was Saturday. Sunday, which was yesterday, as of we're recording this on a Monday, so yesterday was Sunday. Saw that there was an event at the Holocene in Portland, but it's like Addison Rae night, where they play music based that's based on Addison Rae. So it was like Addison Rae, and they played Kesha, they played some Britney Spears, just like pop girl music, which they could have just done pop music, but I guess it was the mix the DJ who was mixing was like heavy on the Addison Rae.
Does
I
she
don't know.
make music?
Yes.
Addison Rae?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. She's literally like a TikToker. That's all
Okay.
I knew her as. So
Let's get into the year 2025, mama. This makes so much more sense why you were like Addison Rae night at the Hollis.
is not what I fucking saw.
Addison Rae night.
First of all, I was not that outraged. It was like my reaction was more based off of like I've never heard you mention the name Addison Rae, so I was like Addison Rae.
That's equally as shocking because I
Which
feel
then
like
you're
I
like,
have.
oh, my friend invited me, so I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So it wasn't that I was like Addison Rae. You would have the God's willing gall to go to Addison Rae
At the Holocene. Anyway, that was like a little bit more than. It wasn't really bi-weekly. That was like that was my weekend. That probably fulfills the same amount of that's all I was really doing.
Well, I did have something go on last week.
What did you have going on last week?
So what's funny is that on an episode I said that my boyfriend planned a very impromptu trip to the beach. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
Cute.
It was a nice place. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, just get away. And then he proposed. So
And I wish right.
we'll do it. We'll
Show
do
the
a
ring.
Zoom in.
Show the
Zoom in.
ring.
Is it? There it is. This finger, my nail broke. So unfortunate timing. It happened after the proposal. Yes, happened after the proposal.
Thank God.
So yeah, it was wonderful. It was lovely. I was very, very surprised.
Which this gets into what I was about to say. I had a feeling because you had been talking about it just in and out on the pod, off the pod, just in your general life. Like, oh, like he might propose, like whatever,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not.
It's happening inevitably. I was
Yes.
hoping it was happening soon.
And so when you say impromptu beach trip at a nice place over the weekend, one can deduce naturally that something may or may not happen.
And
But I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to like get your hopes.
And that's very valid.
Yeah.
It's very valid. Like I'm just sitting here like I'm glad I was surprised. I'm surprised.
Yes.
I was surprised.
Yes. Right.
But
Same.
I was just surprised and did not expect it. And I think I told you this, but the first words out of my mouth were, "Are you serious?"
Are you serious right now?
And then I was like, yes, of course. And then it was really nice and it was beautiful. And we went to dinner afterwards. I say we went to dinner. I was so surprised. Like, it was a foggy, windy day in Lincoln City, Oregon. I was wearing my sweatpants, my sweatshirt, my zip up, my hood up.
Everything every
My
girl
hair was all
could ever imagine.
messed up. Yeah. So it's like, but I say all that, like, so that's the really interesting thing. And I was kind of talking to my mom about this. What's really interesting is that it's not like I was the kind of girl that was like, I know, because I would also, if I was this kind of girl, I would have communicated this. I wasn't like, oh, I know I want my proposal to look like this and I want it to be here. I want this to happen. Like, I had no boxes needing checked. I was like, I just want it to happen. And other than like, I was like, I want it to be like, not like I don't, or okay, so that to say I did have boxes checked in the sense of I told them like I don't want it on my birthday, I don't want it on Valentine's Day, like I don't want it on a holiday, like, so I did have some stuff, but then that to say I just didn't have any idea of like what I wanted it to look like.
Like, what do you mean he didn't plan a flash mob with the entire like town of Lincoln City like coming onto the beach and like,
and it's not like it's just so funny where I'm just so I guess a good way to put it is like I'm so happy with how the proposal turned out. It's not what I probably would have said, But it's like I didn't have any idea. It's not like I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I wanted this or this.
Which there's so much magic in that.
But like I wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, just that, like with me in my sweatpants. Like I would never have said that. But I'm like, oh, that's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Honestly, kind of a perfect proposal.
Yeah.
In every
Because we were still
way.
doing the thing, but it's just like we're in Oregon. So all that to say, engaged,
Wow.
officially betrothed, officially.
She's taken, y'all. Stop. Get the fuck out of our comments. Oh, you're gonna have to involve me. Just I won't take no for an answer.
You definitely will.
I will be involved
I'm very excited.
in this process.
Like dress shopping. I'm
Ugh.
so excited.
Okay.
And so yeah, that was really like that to say that's kind of the big thing. I will say that happened last weekend. And we were at the coast as previously stated.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we went to the coast not too long ago, like a few months ago? This would have been like June, I think.
When we went.
Yes, this
with
would have
my
been
mom.
June. Yes.
Yeah.
And there were no sea lions.
Yeah. Are they back?
The most amount of sea lions I've seen visiting the coast. It was like the dock full. The rock over there, like if you go,
Oh my
the
God.
rock over there, full. Like that was as full as I probably ever seen that rock.
That's crazy.
The other like dock, like the boat dock that's like closed off to the public, full. Like, and
What's
they
up,
were just
doc?
swimming around.
Yeah.
I was like, it was wild. Like
They came because they understood that
they
you
wanted
were
to see my ring.
They literally, and you were like, hey.
Exactly.
And they were gagging mama over your child
They
clock, you know.
They were.
So
that was, and then just to top it off, I went to the Children's Museum this morning, which was actually really fun.
The Children's Museum?
Gilbert House.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Anyway.
But yeah,
Um,
so do you have anything for Media Spotlight?
The one thing I do have for Media Spotlight is I've been watching a lot of Vanilla Mace
Oh, I love that.
on YouTube, just watching her vlogs, and I feel truly as though we are back in a vlogging era, and the sample size of one being her, so I don't have really much to go off of and compare to, but she has made me really want to explore the world of vlogging because I just miss that era of YouTube, truly.
I love that. I'm going to keep my Media Spotlight short and sweet, and this is also something that will be its own episode in due time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely late on saying this, but Portland's women's basketball team announced their name, and it's
Ooh.
the Fire. Portland
Oh my God.
Fire.
Work divas.
Kind of, it goes pretty well with the Trail Blazers. I'm not upset with that.
Yeah.
And I'll insert a photo of their logo. You can see a little bit of pink in there.
Yes, Gaga,
So it's
you
like
look
red,
so
mostly
good.
red. But I'm hoping that pink in there isn't just for that. I hope that they'll incorporate it.
Are they also playing at the Moda Center? Is like that
I
their home
Think so.
stadium or
That
whatever?
will be a Taylor question.
Okay.
I can insert Taylor's answer here. So.
Thanks, Taylor.
So yeah, honestly that's really all I had to say.
Yeah, I don't have much else.
Is that we'll have an episode on it. I mean they start next year, so hopefully before that we can get a little bit of like history, a little bit of open, and then I'm sure once the season starts up that I will be
I forgot that
talking
they
about them a
were
little bit more.
gonna be a WNBA team.
Yeah,
So
very
that's cool.
exciting. Very exciting. This brings us into our discussion on fanfiction, which comes with an initial disclaimer that I have. That is, I did like surface level reading for this. I didn't like delve very deep. I didn't like. I kind of tried to double check and double fact check of like if I read something, be like, okay, does this or is this just somebody online saying this? And I kind of tried to do that, but I wasn't doing it incredibly diligently. So please fact check me, or if I say anything that's wrong, then please feel to correct in the comments, because I am not the gospel of fanfiction, although I wish. The concept of fanfiction always been around.
Yes.
That's kind of been known. There's the old dead joke of the Bible being fan fiction, And then you have other stuff like Dante's Inferno being just essentially self-insert Bible fan fiction.
But what the hell, boy?
So it's not like a new concept or anything that like the internet didn't invent it, like the 21st century didn't invent it. It's a thing that's been around. And so in this reading, that like even to the point where like the book Gulliver's Travels, lots of fan fiction about Gulliver's Travels, a story that I didn't know about, like I've never heard of this, is in 1740 a book called Pamela came out, and then somebody came out, and so Pamela is basically about this woman who stays with this man and resists him coming on to her.
Okay.
I guess that's just like the plot of the book.
Sure.
And so somebody came and wrote and so the other thing, I guess, as I'm saying this out loud, like I don't know what this was put out as, like if it was as his own book or if this was just, you know, like a column in the newspaper. Like this is 1740. I don't know when it says like this other guy wrote this thing. I don't know where he wrote it, but this other guy wrote this thing called Shamala, which essentially just reconstructs the story where the woman doesn't resist the temptation or like resist the like dude coming on to her.
Oh.
Like that's literally it, which is, I feel like, your quintessential fan fiction.
That's
like that is
kind of the definition.
That is fan fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow.
So yeah, and like I said, 1740 that stuff's happened. So like not a new concept at all.
We go back.
And then you shoot forward to the 1960s, which is the general contender for the first example of fan fiction in the way we see it today. And it had the way fan fiction works today comes from this origin, which is you've already read it, or else I'd ask you, but can you guess? It's Star Trek. That's so funny.
Which makes
Fucking
sense.
nerds.
Which makes
Deal with
so
it,
much
nerds.
Nerds. Nerds.
I'm gonna throw one of the bus here. I did that to Taylor. I asked Taylor that question. He said Brady Bunch.
What did he say?
Baby, I love you.
Huh? Oh.
It was just and I think I said this to. It's just Brady Bunch. Yeah, wildly popular, and I'm sure you could find fan fiction on it. Too many normies watched it. Like Brady Bunch is a normie show.
Yeah, that to me doesn't immediately fit the contender for.
But there's fan fiction out there. I know there is.
Rule 34.
I'm not saying that. There
Rule
is
34.
Brady Bunch fan fiction out there.
Yeah.
It was just a funny answer for the
For the first? Star Trek makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Pretty
So that to say, like I said, I said contender because it's like there is a debate. I feel like it's hard to kind of like, yeah, this is, again, pre-internet. It was based off of like fan groups, and I was reading something that said it was like, yeah, the community of fans would create little like zines and like send them out, and you'd be on like a mailing list. So like, yeah, pre-internet fan fiction where people were just like writing them and sending to people or having them in like fan newsletters or something. And so, yeah, I think it's less of like, oh, Star Trek is the first modern property to have that happen with, but it's the one that was so wildly popularized that like had that large of a fan base.
Because it has all the ingredients for like a fanfic fandom.
And so, like I said, you still see some of the origins in fan fiction today. This is where slash fiction came from.
Oh.
If I say the name slash fiction, does that mean anything to you?
No. I'm like, oh.
A slash fic is when it's going to be gay.
T.
So if it's M/M or F/F.
Gotcha.
So, that's where that term came from, which is just so interesting. And then moving forward in the timeline is the advent of the internet. So, 90s, early 2000s, it became obviously much more accessible, like just the making and sharing of fan fiction. And it was taking places within communities on sites like AOL, CompuServe, and Usenet. Only one of which I recognize.
AOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. CompuServe, mama. Haunty boots the house down.
in 98, fanfiction.net started, which is still up and running today. And it was a place that you could both write and archive your works, but also receive feedback. And you had to pay to use it. Yeah, that was so shocking to me. That didn't last long though, because it said by the early 2000s. So it was created in 98, and it said by the early 2000s they moved away from that method. But when they pivoted away from that method, they added some rules regarding explicit material, which caused a lot of people to not want to use their site anymore. Know your audience. Know your audience. Other big players early in the game for fan fiction were LiveJournal, GeoCities, and MySpace, which MySpace is kind of surprising. Not super surprising because they're just like, they're kind of like blogs, but
yeah.
GeoCities is shut down. MySpace, you know what happened to MySpace, but LiveJournal remains and is a prominent player as a vessel of fan fiction. And finally, our queen, our lord, our savior, my go-to gal, my friend in a bad time, Archive of Our Own, started in 2009 by the Organization of Transformative Works.
This is the first time I'm ever hearing about Archive of Our Own.
You're kidding.
I'm not joking. I thought you were going to say Wattpad.
Beyonce, sweetie, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that an ugly ass bitch like this would even say that. Oh my God, are you insane?
It goes to show how much I know about I was busy getting dick in high school. Sorry.
I knew you in high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Pipe down, bitch. Pipe down.
Me playing my trumpet. Me and my band, my band class.
Yeah.
Me and choir.
Anyway, motherfucker thought I was gonna say Wattpad.
I don't know. Archive of Our Own is Wattpad.
AO3 known to its shooters.
Is Wattpad like strictly for like smut kind of?
No, Wattpad is for people that don't know how to write fanfiction.
Like it's like,
not to say that you're not gonna find works on Wattpad that are worth reading.
because in the
Back in my day,
okay,
if you had a fan fiction and it was on Wattpad, it was probably on the lower end of the spectrum of quality.
like they were the ones that you kind of like laughed at and made fun of. Like they were the meme
Yes.
fanfics.
I say this trepidatiously because it's like fan fiction is beautiful, and if you only ever wrote fan fiction on Wattpad, I guess I'm not trying to say this as a blanketed like, oh, this is how everyone feels. Maybe nobody else feels this way. That could totally be true. I never used Wattpad. No, I can't say never. There was like a select few of like, oh, I have to fucking use Wattpad because it's like only on Wattpad. But it's like, yeah, not a place I would frequent. Not the place to look for if you're just like, oh, I'm going to scroll and try and like find something to read. Because most of them.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. Wattpad is the only name that I can pull from in terms of fanfic.
Because that's because that's what's memed. And like that's the one that has the app. Wattpad has its own app, which is like inaccessible, whereas like AO3, LiveJournal, those are just sites. Like those are just websites. So,
Heard. Understood.
Period.
Gotcha.
And this is just a separate kiki to round out that's literally our tiny history list, and that's the timeline of fanfiction.
Yeah.
One last tiny thing to kiki about is that in 2013, Amazon launched Kindle Worlds, which was a way to try to provide a commercial venue for fanfiction creations of specific licensed material.
Oh, so they were like trying to like corporatize.
Exactly.
Fanfics?
They were trying to like pay authors of fan fiction for writing fan fiction.
Oh, that doesn't seem very democratized.
No, weird. This isn't the whole list, but some of the like licensed material that was a lot like fan fiction. So like that's the thing. this is people writing stories about licensed properties. So that's why we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
So this was like a short list of properties that were like, yes, you can write fan fiction about it. We'll get a cut of that. The authors will get a tiny cut, and Amazon will get the most of whatever cut.
Follow the money and see where it goes.
But you weren't allowed to write anything pornographic. Or this was in the note of the wiki of this thing, is that you couldn't. It was like there was a ban on pornographic or offensive content and copyright violations. Well, like that just feels vague, where it's like, okay, so like, are you not allowed to mention certain things within the show? Like,
Right,
what?
isn't the whole thing a copyright?
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a funny. Oh, and then the list of some of those shows. These are really the only ones I recognized were Gossip Girl, G.I. Joe, Veronica Mars, Pretty Little Liars, The Vampire Diaries, Wayward Pines.
Okay.
So anyway, that's my little history lesson of fan fiction. It's really funny and crazy to contextualize the thing that I did.
What a story.
I read so much fan fiction, like so much of it. And so now we move on to some notable tropes and some notable AUs, or alternate universes.
This is definitely fruity.
So tropes are kind of like a lot of things that you'll see in pretty much any romance-based books, like angst, fluff, slow burn, unrequited love / pining. Those are often kind of the same thing. Enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, enemies to friends to lovers, and forced proximity.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So those are all pretty common. There's that to say, sound off. I feel like I was forgetting some. I was like trying to look at there was no real just like master list of like popular ones of like stuff that I'm like, I know I've seen lots of this. This is like a tired trope, blah, 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 blah. I know I'm forgetting some. So leave them below. Let me know. Notable AUs. Gender swap. Some of my favorites.
Sure.
I love gender swap things.
Sure.
And that's self-explanatory. I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. It's just like whenever you swap the gender of whatever character you're talking about. So if you're talking about Edward Cullen, you'd make him a girl. Bella Cullen, a boy. Mpreg?
I'm in danger.
Which I don't know why I know that, but I know that.
But you know that, and that's
I know
important.
that. Yeah.
Dudes can get pregnant. That's just the universe they live in, where dudes can get pregnant. Kid fix, which either mean that the main characters are kids or that they have kids.
Okay.
So that could mean either or. Some sort of supernatural element. This I kind of just like lumped into one umbrella category. So that's like vampires, werewolves, magic, something being like in that universe. Dystopian, apocalyptic. That's where you have that like kind of Hunger Games thing where it's, yeah, again, self-explanatory. And the one that brought us here in the first place. The Omegaverse.
The Omegaverse.
The Omegaverse. So I wrote this down. I did this for you guys. I did this for you.
Thank
most
you.
Specifically.
Thank you.
This comes from Redditor comment, the Tiny GM. The general alpha, beta, omega names come from the research of famous wolf behavior scientist Rudolf Schenkel, who coined the terms for the behavior of wolves in captive groups. However, it turned out he made mistakes, and the non-captive wolves actually do not follow this distinction. He tried to debunk it, but it's too late. So that's just A. That's where you get alpha, beta, omega.
This came from
debunked, outdated wolf science.
It's getting weird.
like that tried to be based in legitimate
Yes.
science in real world,
Again, didn't go much further than that in my research,
but it came from a real thing.
but it came from a real thing.
Yeah.
A real man doing science. The fanfics comes from supernatural. Naturally. As most fandom related things do.
Mm-hmm.
Supernatural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Specifically, a Jared Jensen ship. And it was a kink prompt. as in a person who wrote a basic summary of something they wanted to have happen. They submitted that to somebody's Tumblr, and that person would write their own little blurb, story about whatever that person wanted to read. This is the original prompt as follows.
Okay. Oh my God. This is history. This is exciting.
The real prompt. AU, meaning they want it to be alternate universe.
Okay.
Their world is just like ours, except in their world, there are 2 types of men. One is the alpha male. The other is the bitch male. Alpha males are like any ordinary guy with the exception of their they work just like dog the knot. I can't do this. The knot, tons of etc. The bitch male is just an ordinary guy without the special I'd like to see alpha male Jared and bitch male Jensen. Jensen is a snotty prude. Think Lady from Lady and the Tramp. He may be a bitch male, but he's not going to let anyone take a go at his sweet little ass until he meets Jared. Then prudy little Jensen turns slut for Jared. Bonus points for J2 being OTP. Jensen was a virgin before Jared, and now that they met each other, it's for life. Completely up to you if mating happens anywhere, like in the middle of the sidewalk, in a park, etc., or on a more private level.
Completely
That's
up to
it.
you.
And if anybody that I care about ever listens to this, I'm sorry.
God.
And I'm going to finish it with, this is, so, that to say, that's what's been said as the original prompt. But it did then spur on similar prompts, similar people wanting similar stories, which then where we see it snowballed today. So this is a later prompt with a specific distinction. There are 3 types of men: alpha males, beta males, and omega males. Alpha males are just like any ordinary guy with the exception of their they work just like canines, but knots, tons of strong breeders, etc. The beta male is an ordinary guy without the special Omega males are capable of childbearing and often called bitch males. So there you see the important distinction is the fact that in the first one, it doesn't make any mention of child rearing, breeding, anything like that. But this later prompt includes what does come to be part of the Omegaverse thesis, which is that society works in a way where there's 3 types of people: alpha, betas, omegas, and alphas are the people that are getting anybody pregnant. Betas are just kind of normal. Those people work in society in the same way you and I work in society.
Yeah.
If they're a man, they can have a baby with I think either a beta or an omega, and boy or girl. And then omegas are the people that have the babies. So that's kind of that's the general gist. Like
and I was told that there can be like quote unquote issues arising if it's like an alpha or an omega like relationship. Like like in the same, like it almost analogizes. It's generally
like contended that you would then end up with somebody not of the same one of you.
Yeah, because it's like you could analogize that as like in real life, like same-sex relationships. Like that's kind of an analog. Of that, but just told in a very interesting kind of perspective.
But
and also questions. The alpha is the impregnating person, and I was told that they have a special organ to do, like the if you will, is special.
Okay, well, if it makes you feel any better, it isn't. If I don't know, maybe this won't make you feel any better.
It might not, actually.
It's not some like extra thing. It's just basically that like then people have the same penises as canines, dogs. Which dog penises work in this. And like I'm kind of fuzzy. I don't really know, but I think this is how it works. Where it's like if a dog sticks their penis in a female dog, then it's like there's just something about that. It's like locked in until then he's no longer aroused.
Gotcha.
So like he wouldn't be able to take it back out if he's still aroused.
This makes sense.
So that's just how a dog penis works. So then in this universe, that's how penis.
How many people were scared?
Sure.
Me too. I was really
Sure.
scared.
Yeah. What the hell? Sure.
And often there's like soulmate. Soulmate is a big like counterpart in this, where there's like, think of like imprinting. In Twilight, it's like similar. I don't want to say that's not integral to the ABO society, but it's a common trope within fics like this, that it'd be like, you can love and like fall in love with somebody, but there is going to be like then one person that you it's just it.
Yeah.
Like,
gotcha.
So,
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that's kind of, I feel like I'm forgetting something about this, but that's kind of the general gist of it. They're people with wolf traits and wolf penises, apparently. So that brings us into our last little chunk of, like, we've talked a little bit about fan fiction, we've talked a little bit about what it is, the history of it. How do authors feel about it? And I did authors specifically. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
But I was just going to say, I did authors specifically because I feel like when you do something then like, say, a show or a movie, that has so many moving parts that, like, you have a writer and a producer and a director and then actors, where it's like, it's not like one person could walk away from a movie and be like, I did that. I created that.
Right.
The actors the least, I don't know. I almost said the actors the least amount because they didn't create, but then it's like definitely not the least amount because they're the one portraying. So it's like when people are writing fan fiction, it's like about their likeness, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. But all that rambling to say, I chose authors to like talk about and look up for this question because like that's somebody that's just like they're writing a book and then people are going and basically writing their own stories with those characters from a book. Like that's the author's whole thing. Like, yeah. Authors and fan fiction writers, two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
So
I can agree with that.
It was just kind of like the closest, like, oh, this is somebody that like does have every right to these characters and like every right. We'll get into it. Every anything they feel about those characters are because it's their characters. Like they wrote them down. They created them. We'll start, I have this out of order in my notes, but we'll start with two people that hate fan fiction, two authors.
Bitch, I hope the fuck you do.
You have people like, and these are, let me start by saying I disagree with both of these takes. I think these are absolutely insane takes to have.
Yeah.
Even after all that I just said, like even as the authors, as people that are the creators of these characters and these places and these worlds. Diana Gabaldon feels better.
Okay.
That is the author of the Outlander, very, very popular series.
Yeah.
Outlander series.
Yeah.
And she had this to say. My position on fanfic is pretty clear. I think it's immoral. I know it's illegal. And it makes me want to barf whenever I've inadvertently encountered something involving my characters. She then later put out a more formal, because that was just a blog post that she made on her blog. So then a more formal post that she made is, you do not write it, do not send it to me, and do not publish it, whether in print or on the web.
Okay, fascist. The fuck?
She's like, yeah, that is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, I would go, even though it's like more dramatic and still eye rolling, I'm still gonna say, girl, fuck you. Like, her first statement is better where she's at least using I statements.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't like it. It makes me want to barf. It's like, okay, girl, you're fucking
Like,
crazy.
whatever.
But then to go a step further and to say, and don't put it on the internet. It's
Don't
like,
print it. Don't write it at all.
Like,
Don't do anything. Which is, yeah, that's
was
crazy.
just wild. And I didn't get a year for this, but it's from what I remember, like this is a pretty this is a recent
Yeah.
it's a recent in pop culture history. Another one is a little bit older. Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire fame. She vehemently and litigiously against it, to the point that like that. And so the context being 2001, this is like early internet, early fan fiction sites like we were talking about. She had to say, "It upsets me terribly to even think about fan fiction with my characters. I advise my readers to write your own original stories with your own characters. It is absolutely essential you respect my wishes."
Actually, no, that's
It's
not the
essential
truth.
to do that, girl.
Girl,
Not
shut
essential.
up.
And it got to the point, so then it requests and essentially cease and desists were sent to certain sites that were able to have searchable fan fiction, and a request sent to fanfiction.net in 2001 read,
"It has come to our attention that your website, fanfiction.net, makes available over the internet numerous stories and other literary material which may contain material from the property. Even when done in a non-profit and or amateur basis, such use of such characters and material without Miss Rice's permission constitutes copyright infringement."
So basically that just like writing, if you had any characters from any of her books in your fan fiction, they didn't want that.
Copyright infringement, like, I don't know how I feel about that.
And then we can move on to our queen, because it'll go into, I do have my own opinions to say on it. So it's obviously I disagree with that one, but here's what our queen had to say, which is a thing that I agree with.
Queen Stephanie Meyer.
Miss Meyer said that she doesn't read fan fiction and that she's torn on the topic. She completely understands that sometimes fans want more and that they have a need to keep living in the story past the point of what the author has written.
And that's okay.
While she sees fan fiction as good practice, her concern is that fanfic writers are investing so much time in works they can't lay claim to. So a direct quote is, "I hear stories about it, particularly about Harry Potter fanfiction, and people write things longer than the Harry Potter universe. And I find that incredibly frustrating because it's like, obviously you're a writer. Obviously you love characters and you love story building. Go do something you can claim. Go do something that can be yours and you can put your name on and be like, I wrote this book." End quote. Which, very level-headed.
Yeah, that's probably the best. I could not have put it better myself.
Just kind of rounding out what the other two wackos were saying is that, like, I think it's crazy to sit here and be like, don't write it, don't put it on the internet, you're not allowed to do it in general. Obviously, I say trepidatiously, like, obviously fan fiction writers shouldn't be able to monetize or gain capital off of anything.
Right.
But so it's like,
well,
I don't understand how copyright works in the sense of like, what does it have to do if you're not making money from it?
No, I think that's the whole point of copyright is like you can't claim, you can't monetize.
Exactly.
It.
So that to say, when you're gonna, sorry if this feels roundabout. The first two is like, you have no right to say that.
Yeah.
Because unless you're dealing with people and you're talking to the people that are like, stop trying to make money off of my characters, that's a valid thing. Saying that it makes you ill and want to barf, just the idea of somebody using your characters,
like, grow up.
Literally, like, I can't fathom that.
God forbid you have fans that want to, like,
exactly,
dive deeper
but
into
then
your world.
Literally what Stephanie's saying is like my kind of exact thoughts on it, where it's like, I love long fanfic. I mean, I love it and I respect it for what it is. My wheelhouse was more in that like 25 to 50,000 words, but like I can really appreciate a good 100,000 plus 200,000 if I have a weekend for it. But like,
yeah,
it's still, even back then, because like I don't read as much fan fiction now as I used to. I don't really read any fan fiction, but I kind of want to get back into it.
Period.
But that to say, so it's like, I remember even back then, I'm like, why don't you people write books?
Right.
Like what? Like I love this and I want more, so don't stop putting chapters out. But like, how are you not?
And I think what I find really cool and really fascinating about the whole fanfic universe is that this is such a brilliant entry point for a lot of younger
Oh yes,
budding
absolutely,
artists
absolutely. I mean,
and authors.
God, fucking look at it. I'm sure there's a list out there. I didn't do it. I should have. I'm sure there's a list out there of people that are. I don't even want to say. I don't know what best selling or New York best selling. I don't know what that means. But a list of successful writers that started as fan fiction writers. I bet that Venn diagram is a circle. Like
No, it has to be.
so.
Because didn't I thought I just looked up. I thought Twilight started as a fan fiction, but like
No, 50 Shades of Grey started as Twilight fan fiction.
50 Shades of Grey started
Yes.
right.
So, and so then that goes into, my thoughts, my personal thoughts, is that, post as many fucking stories to your Tumblr and your AO3, your Wattpad,
Yeah.
whatever you want. If you do start something that you're like, oh, I have this idea for a fan fiction, I'm going to write it. And then suddenly you're at 100,000 words. You're at a book's length of story. Rework it.
Yeah.
Just rework it. And
You
like,
obviously know you have a skill to write
Yeah.
that much.
if you have that talent, you should like rework your fan fiction and like make it into a story of some kind. Because like what the hell?
What the hell?
It's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I had to say on fan fiction. It was fun.
Yeah, no,
I
there's
really
a
liked
lot
looking into this.
a lot of good stuff that we went over. I'm mostly happy we covered the Omegaverse, honestly, because I just needed to get a closing.
Have some questions answered. Yeah.
And I really feel like I got my questions answered, so.
Valid. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us to our outro.
Outro.
And so our closing question for you to answer in the comments is, did you ever read fan fiction? And if you did, what kind of fandoms did you read fan fiction for? And what was your favorite trope?
Period.
Tell us about your fan fiction preferences.
Tell us, because I don't have an answer because I never read.
I was going to say, I knew that you...
I never read, period. I don't read, period. If it's off
Girl,
for
we
school,
know.
I don't read. I can't read.
So valid. And then, I think I already mentioned it, but my first foray into fan fiction was Twilight fan fiction. And then I was doing that pretty heavily. And then after that, it was like all One Direction fan fiction. Just like all One Direction fan fiction for a long while. And then, I would kind of dabble in stuff that I watched. I was like telling you earlier, like I read some Supernatural fan fiction. I read some Teen Wolf fan fiction, but like nothing that I was really like, oh, I need to be like reading, like, let me check the tags. Like the only tags I were really checking was like One Direction fan fiction for a long time. And before that it was Twilight. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
And our viewer submitted a question. It's kind of tangentially related. So
it definitely is kind of related, I'd say.
Yeah.
Do you separate the art from the artist? Is it okay to separate from the art from the artist? If so, to what extent? Like, is it okay if someone is labeled a diva and is famously mean or difficult to work with and still consume their art? Also, people love Harry Potter, but J.K. Rowling is a raging transphobe. Being transphobic and being a diva definitely aren't the same thing, but it's still somewhat separating the art from the artist in both scenarios. Thoughts on this? I think it depends. I go back and forth with this because in my mind, the one thing that I always boil down to is, well, who creates the art? The artist creates the art. So when you're consuming art and you try to separate the art from the artist, it's almost impossible to do that because the art itself is made from the mind of the artist who's so Kanye's a great example of this. Is I think that's what everyone's like, well, I just separate the art from the artist. Well, it's like, who do you think made the art? Like he still did that, and like his perspectives and thoughts and feelings on the world at whatever time he made his art, whatever, his rap, his music, still influenced his, and this again, it's just one example, but still influenced his music in some way, shape, or form. So in that case, no, I don't think you can, because you're still consuming the person's product, because it's made by the person who's problematic. But I think with your other example of like someone who's like a diva, like I don't think that constitutes like needing to, like, I think you can separate the art from the artist, because like being a diva doesn't really warrant, quote, inherent problematic, like life altering behavior, to where you're like, you could be a diva and be like kind of rude to people, but like if your music and your art is still quality, then like I just think those are, yeah, and like you said, those are very different. Those are not mutually exclusive scenarios, so like you can't, you know, that's why I say it depends. But like as much as I detest Chappell Roan for her takes on things, like I think her music's still good. Like I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna boycott Chappell. Like so let me put it like this: if a Chappell Roan song comes on in my Spotify, I'm not gonna be like, ugh, Chappell. Whereas with Kanye, if a Kanye West song comes on, I'm immediately skipping that, blocking him on my Spotify. Like there's definitely a stark difference where I'm like, okay, well I don't like Chappell Roan, but like still like some of the songs. Like they're objectively they're okay music. So
That's valid.
I think, yeah, it's hard for me. And J.K. Rowling's a great example of like Harry Potter is obviously loved, but I think people nowadays are like, oh, I don't really want to read that anymore, because she just keeps doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. And it's like, okay, I can't separate her work from herself anymore. Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like there is an ability to separate the art from the artist. I don't think many, if anybody out there is actually doing what and so let me say this not so objectively, let me say this more subjectively, is that like I don't think anyone would separate it in the same way that like I would constitute separating the artist from the art from the artist, because like, yeah, using Kanye, using Chris Brown, using people that are just those being like stark, nobody doesn't know that those are terrible people. Nobody,
right.
Nor are those people not still wildly successful. That like if you're like, oh, but I love this Chris Brown song so much, pirate it, just go get it, and then don't fucking talk about listening to it, and don't make some fucking dog whistle argument of like about separating the art from the artist because you want to listen to like 3 Chris Brown songs. It's like, yeah, you can do it in the safety. And so maybe this is a hot take where like then it is, my thoughts on it is that like you can sit in your home with your pirated music that doesn't send any revenue to that person and just listen to it and just don't fucking talk about it and don't act like you're doing anything morally high to still like just don't act like you're doing anything. Just being like, I know this person's a piece of shit. I really like this song. I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to put it on in the car for everybody. I'm not going to go blasting it and telling people how much I love this song. I'm not going to go making mixes or playlists with this song in it. But I will listen to it in my own time on my own saved file. Yeah. Because you can put pirated songs onto your Apple Music. Like, it's not like you just would have to be at your computer. Like, you can do that. You can pirate movies. You can access pretty much anything you want that a pop culture celebrity would be in without adding any revenue to their pocket.
Exactly.
And I think you can do that. Like, I think you could do that, and that is an ethical way to be like, and then any time that artist is brought up in conversation, or not necessarily, but like, you do make sure that you condemn them. You do make sure that it's known that you're not supporting them, that you're like not just being some covert like, oh, I'm not going to talk about how much I like them, and just like it's like you don't you have to separate it of like, I like this song or I like this movie, but that person doesn't really mean anything, and I want no part of any revenue that I'm by me consuming this thing to go to that person. Yeah, agreed. Or for that number to be shown anywhere that's like, oh, people are watching this, people are liking this, people are downloading this. Like, I don't want to be a part of that at all. Yeah. So I think it is doable, but I don't think anyone, I won't say nobody, but I don't think really many people are doing that at all and want to be like, well, what if I just like listen to them sometimes and I'm separating the art from the artist and like I don't really like them, or I'm not talking about how much I like them on social media, is like,
Yeah.
but you're talking about it, but like you are, and like and I'm not saying this as the question asker at all. I'm saying when you're trying to defend an artist, or when that conversation gets brought up and somebody's playing devil's advocate, it's like, no, if somebody's a bad person, they shouldn't be platformed and you shouldn't be giving them any sort of revenue.
No, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
But that to say, there is a spectrum where, again, like I said, if you're going to say diva behavior, it's like that denotes to me, it's like, okay, that wouldn't be necessarily cancelable where I personally feel like they shouldn't have a platform. But that could be like, I don't really condone it. I don't want revenue going towards you to just say that, like, look how my numbers are doing, everyone still likes me. It's like, I wouldn't necessarily want to be a part of that, but that doesn't make me feel like, oh, she should be canceled.
No,
like,
right.
So
yeah.
But yeah. So I think it can be done. I think it's a lot harder than people act like it is, of just like, oh, but I could still listen to them and just like not talk about it. It's like, that still shows that they're popular. That still does something for them. So, and especially, I just have to say this is mostly tangential, I hate the concept of hate watching. I hate the concept of hate listening, because it's like, you don't get it. You don't get that means that's like more things are going to come from that.
No, literally, like that you're kind of doing the opposite of what you think you're doing. So anyway, we could have a whole segment on hate watching. Let's do it.
But
actually, we could do a whole episode about separating the art from the artist.
So true.
You know,
so true.
I'll give examples.
But yeah, I think that's kind of it. We're on to our manifestation.
My manifestation is, which I was gonna follow, is kind of as a follow-up question for you. Did you ever book the camping spot?
I didn't book it, but I'm going to. Yeah.
Yes, because that's my manifestation, is I finally get to go freaking camping.
Yeah.
And I really, really want to before, and that's for Labor Day, right?
Yes.
So that's where I'll be. You can find me in the Dalles, right outside the Dalles. Bitches from Oregon be like River Day.
Meet up.
And it's like in the Columbia River.
So true.
So anyway, that's mine, I guess.
Well, nice. I mean, yeah, my manifestation is we're going to a concert this weekend, babies. This Friday. Jesus.
Whoa.
We're going to a concert this Friday. I feel like something else is happening, and then camping. It would be like right then. So that's happening, and then I guess that's kind of like my like recent. That'll happen in the immediate future.
Yeah.
I guess I'm also just gonna plan a wedding. I guess.
I guess.
Like I said, I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that and my trials and tribulations, and plenty more manifestations in the future will be based off of those.
We're gonna do a wedding episode where we talked about this towards the top.
We should vlog my wedding.
Wedding vlog. Wait, wedding vlog. We need to do wedding vlog, wedding dress shopping vlog. We need to do.
So true. This is the start of our vlogging career.
No, actually, there's gonna be so many. Stay tuned for the wedding vlog series.
Yes.
Where we go rehearsal dinner vlog. We do wedding cake tastings vlogs. We do everything.
Just become a wedding channel the way people become baby channels.
But I'm not your husband. Your actual husband
kind of eats though.
Wait, that actually does kind of eat, because your husband, Taylor doesn't have to do anything.
No,
like,
literally.
I'm just like, I just help.
No, so true.
But I'm the face of it, and I get paid.
We'll talk.
Wait, wait, what?
And our shout out is Laurel, because I did see that you sent us a question. Thank you, Laurel.
And she did ask me at the party. She's like, "Did you see I submitted a question?" I was like, "Oh, I do now, girl."
And I did see that, Laurel.
Oh, great question.
But I had to put this one because it was just more fitting for the show. But we'll answer that probably next time. You sent a really good question.
Emily has been dominating our questions lately.
No,
because
this is another Emily question. So.
Yeah.
But I think this is our last one. We made it through.
Everybody else we will get to, because there are still more.
And send them more, baby.
More.
And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like
unsubscribe.
and subscribe.
L and S.
L and S.
L ampersand S.
L and S.
L and S.
Like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell for notifications for when we drop our
And
episodes.
send shit to the Google Forms. Do it. Anyway.
Any hoosies. Thanks for watching.
As my
and
mom
tuning
would
in.
say, any hoozlebees.
Any hoozlebees. Oh, that's such a Debbie saying.
I love it.
Wow.
We'll see you soon. And stay yapping.
Stay yapping, yaplins. Mwah. Mwah.